All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here on this beautiful, amazing Saturday evening. It's been a beautiful day out here in Redwood City, California, where I live, Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area. We've been having a little bit of a heat wave out here in the Bay Area, and it's starting to subside. I just got a notification on my phone from the Weather Channel saying that tomorrow it's only going to be 78 in Redwood City. So that's great. Things are getting back to normal. But anyway, welcome to the show. Before we get to the show, let me just make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it absolutely has. And let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that we are rolling smoothly. And again, tonight we are simulcasting live on Facebook. What is going on? What is going on? Well, it's really weird. Facebook is the little thing on the right side is showing it's not showing that it's going through. Let me look at my app and see if the Facebook stream is coming through. It's not showing that it's going through. Let me look at my app and see if the Facebook stream is coming through. It is coming through. You know, there's a preview on the back end of Facebook, and it's just showing black. And I keep getting this pop-up ever since I started broadcasting at 60 frames per second. It says, action needed, too high stream resolution. Recommend you use a resolution of 1920 by 1080 or lower. Well, I'm using 1920 by 1080. That's 1080p Facebook. But I'm broadcasting at 60 frames per second instead of 30 because that's what I'm doing on YouTube. And so I don't know if that's the problem, but it seems to be working fine. Seems like a false positive, and we're rolling smoothly on Facebook as well. And before we get right to it, let me also pay special props once again to this channel sponsor on YouTube and even on Facebook or wherever I put out my stuff. My sponsor is none other than the great Troy Brewer. He is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. If you have any branding or marketing needs, or if you need any products or services for your business or your personal life, Troy has an abundance of everything. Troy is a master. I guess he likes to say the same thing I like to say. He's a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? No, he's a master of all of them, actually. He's a really good guy. But he's the guy that I trust the most when it comes to branding and marketing. So if you'd like more information on how to connect with Troy, or if you're interested in the free consultation, I can even do a little hand-holding and set up that consultation for you, or even get on that consultation with you on a three-way call. Go below in the description, about a third of the way down the YouTube side of things. You'll see a couple links there. The top link is to the main site, discovercommunitynetwork.com. Or if you're on Facebook, you can go to the top at the Facebook search bar and type in Discover Community Network, and that will take you to their main Facebook business page. And from there, you can figure out how to connect with Troy. Or just email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. That link is below the description on the YouTube side of things and in the description section on the Facebook side of things. You can email me and ask me to make a personal introduction to Troy, and we can even, all three of us, get together and come up with an amazing game plan to help you become more successful at whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Once again, Troy, thank you very much for your continued sponsorship and patronage of this channel, the Coach Eli Elias Melas YouTube channel, and the Facebook broadcast, and just sponsoring me in general. Much love and appreciation from Coach Eli. All right, folks. So I've done a few more tweaks to the new camera I purchased, the A6400 that I now use for live streaming. I've adjusted my shutter speed and the exposure settings and all that. I think it looks better than it even did on the last show. So I've been going out here on YouTube, and I follow a channel called Think Media and a bunch of other, self-help, type of YouTube channels. But Think Media is run by a guy named Sean Cannell. He's a great guy. He has a great story. It goes back 10 years. And he's reviewed so many cameras. And he has a group of people that help him do those reviews. And his company, along with his YouTube channel, did a few reviews on the Sony A6400 and even did a video with the best recommended settings for shooting video, which I'm not shooting video. I'm doing a live stream, but it's the same thing. A live stream is the same thing as shooting a video. The only difference is you're doing it live and on the fly. You're broadcasting it as you're recording it, right? So I figured I'd take those same settings and voila. I'm like, wow, this is absolutely beautiful. I love this camera. I can't stop showing it off. And I'm not a show off. I'm the type of guy that just, loves to help people. But, when things work and when I'm able to provide you folks with, some, great content at the highest possible quality, that even makes me feel better. So don't mind me. I'm just a little excited. This will all wear off within a week or so. And then I'll probably hardly ever talk about this Sony A6400. All right. Anyway, and sorry for the late start, folks. I tried to start this show a little bit earlier, but as always, some things come up, and that's another thing I'm working on. I'm trying to get a more consistent schedule to get these streams started exactly on time, and I'm going to try to even get them on a more regular schedule. I've still been, tweaking some things, and I have even been doing some other testing on my laptop when it comes to rendering 4K video at 60 frames per second. And because laptops, their cooling system is much, it's different than a desktop, right? I mean, I have the i9, processor in here, 10th generation, 5.3 gigahertz, 8 cores, 16 threads. And because it runs very hot when you're doing video rendering, it starts to throttle down and it slows down your processor. Well, I have solved that issue. I'm in progress of getting a laptop cooler. And, there are a bunch of cheap ones, but I said, screw it. I'll go for the top of the line one. I went for this one called like U3, like Cool something. What the heck is this thing called? Cool Master U3. It's been around for like 8 or 9 years, but it's $80 and it has 3 fans that can do up to 1900 revolutions per minute RPM. And a lot of people that are using it say it lowers your your laptop's temperature by about like 10 degrees or something like that, or even a little bit more. Some people have even, gotten to 10 Celsius, lowering of their what do you call it? Their temperature. And 10 Celsius to Fahrenheit is 50 degrees. Now, I mean, if this thing can lower my temperatures by 50 degrees, I should be able to max out this i9 and get it to rock and roll. So I'll keep you folks posted. The reason why I mentioned that is because, it takes so much time and effort to not only set this thing up when you get a new laptop and stuff and get new equipment, but you have to test everything and you have to find solutions for things. And, by the time you get through all that, you're tired, your sleeping pattern is off, and then you try to do what you were doing before, do your live streams and videos, and, it takes a little bit longer to get to it than you initially planned. So my apologies for that, folks. Things are going to be completely back on track by this coming week. All right. So let's get right to it. Tonight, we're going to be discussing what's the best relationship advice you've ever received. And in parentheses on the title, I put my take and more. One more time, what's the best relationship advice you've ever received? My take and more. Now, this show is going to be in 2 parts. The first part, I'm going to share where I received the absolute best relationship advice. I'm going to share my story on that. I'm also going to share some stories of my friends in my younger days that used to try to give me relationship advice, but it wasn't the right advice, which I know that now because I'm 47 now. Back then I was in my teens and my 20s, right? And you have to also understand that, your friends get jealous, and when they don't have somebody in their life, they try to sabotage your relationship by giving you bad advice. I'll get more into that in a little bit, so I'm going to share some of those stories. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to read some responses to a Quora question that was posed. I believe this was back in 2015. It's still relevant to this day. I mean, 2015, there's not much of a difference between 2015 and now in 2021. But there was a Quora question posed: what was the best relationship advice you ever got? And the answers, the feedback was interesting. And like I mentioned the last time I did a Quora question, I said that I'm going to start to every now and then go on to sites like Quora and forums and look and see what people are saying. And basically do my commentary and critique on that. I think that's very interesting. I think it's interesting to just see average everyday people on the fly write about their experiences and their feedback compared to going to a site like Psychology Today, where you have these overly professionally written articles that are just boring, right? So when you actually are dealing with real life people that are just shooting from the hip and just speaking their mind on the fly, it's a little more interesting and you actually learn a lot more from that. So let me know what your thoughts are about that in the chat if you'd like. Okay. So boop, boop, boop. We have one person on Facebook. Is that you, Darren? Who's on Facebook? Darren, Johnny, or anyone else? Feel free to say hello. I'll check in on the Facebook side of things periodically. Okie dokie. All right, let me check out the YouTube chat. We have Queen Helen Casey in the house. She says the Queen is here, and she says you're good. Joe Shipley, how you doing, bro? Oh man, the YouTube server just disconnected me and reconnected me. It's been doing that a lot lately, and I don't know why. I think they've been doing a lot of updates to the YouTube server. So if you were watching the show live, you probably saw a buffer, a little circle. It should be back now. If you are watching the replay, then you saw a splice right when the YouTube server cut me off temporarily, and then it came right back and left off where OBS reconnected me. So I hope that it doesn't happen again. It's been happening quite often lately. I know it's not my connection. I've got everything all dialed in. I'm plugged in through Ethernet. I have a fiber line. I've got a top of the line laptop. I mean, you can have everything all perfect, and it all depends on how the server is working at that time. And the server is run by YouTube, so hey, it is what it is. Here we go again. It just did it again. It just did it again. That's twice. The server cut me off. I wonder if that's Facebook that's doing it to me. If it happens again, it may be Facebook doing it. Folks, it did it again. I just don't understand. Folks, I don't know what's happening here. This is very, very odd. But let's see. We're going to see if it does it one more time before we continue moving forward. And let's just hope. Let's just hope it's good. I'm just going to wait. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know if it's Facebook that's doing it. But we're going to just wait a second and make sure that things are rolling smoothly before I continue here. Anyway, welcome to the show, Disavowed Podcast. Are you trolling here? How did you find out about the channel? That's quite a unique name. It's rolling normally right now, so it looks like it has stabilized. So it might have just been the YouTube side of things temporarily. But Disavowed Podcast, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you know, when somebody first comes into a chat and just says, "What?" ? That's typically a trollish move. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Disavowed Podcast? Because, I mean, the first time somebody invites you over to their house as a friend, you don't just walk into their door and say, "What? What is this?" Right? So Disavowed Podcast, you're going to get 2 minutes, 1 minute actually, to tell us who you are, or I will personally remove you myself. Queen, keep an eye on Disavowed Podcast, and if Disavowed Podcast doesn't identify themselves and how they found out about us, please give them the friendly boot, okay? We don't deal with rude people here, Disavowed Podcast. I don't even know what the hell that means, to be honest with you. I have an idea who that is. All right. I just got disconnected again. I'm wondering if it is Facebook. I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to stop the Facebook broadcast temporarily. Let me just modify this for a second. Huh. That's interesting. Let me start the Facebook broadcast again and see what happens. Just give me a second here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not quite sure what is going on here. All right, I'm going to try one more thing on Facebook here. Let me modify this. I just modified the Facebook thing. Oh, boy. Give me just a second here, folks. I'm sorry about that. I'm hoping that this takes care of the issue. I just lowered the resolution on Facebook to 1280 by 720 because that's what they do over there anyway. Let me just make sure it's running smooth over there. Just make sure it's running smooth over there. Hey, Karen is watching. How are you doing? Just make sure it's running smooth over there. Yeah, I'm just going to run Facebook at 1280 by 720 because I can separate that. And YouTube should still be running at 1920 by 1080p, 60 frames per second. I hope that fixes the issue. I hope that I don't get cut off. If I get cut off one more time, folks, once or twice more, I'm going to just kill this show and redo it another time. Just too many disconnects, but I think that that's going to fix the issue there. I think the issue is or has been resolved. Hey, Karen says, "Hey, I'm okay. How are you?" I'm doing quite well, Karen. It's great to hear from you. How's life been treating you? You get married, or did you? What's been going on with your life? How are things going? We have a very interesting topic here tonight. Yeah, I've known my friend Karen on the Facebook side of things. I've known her for, gosh, how long has it been, Karen? It's been, what, 20 plus years, maybe 25 years? My God, yeah, at least 20 years, over 20 years. Great to see you here. Interesting, Queen. So, Queen, you banned Disavowed podcast. They didn't say anything, huh? Yeah, they didn't say anything in time, so they got banned. That's why they got banned. It's all good. All right, folks. So tonight, like I said, we're discussing what's the best relationship advice you've ever received, my take, and more. And again, sorry for the technical difficulties. You can just skim through this, if you watch, any parts you missed on the replay. Riff says, Zuckerberg doesn't like live streams. Well, he does, but he doesn't have the high quality settings that YouTube has. And when you're running two separate streams from open broadcast software, if one of them is finicky by that server, it kills the entire connection. So that's what was affecting me. But we should be good now. So before I had all the connection issues, but now they should be all solved. I was going to discuss what's the best relationship advice that I've ever received. Well, the best relationship advice I ever received was from another coach that I've mentioned many times here on my channel called Coach Corey. If you're not subscribed to Coach Corey on YouTube, subscribe to him, bang the bell, select all notifications, and start binge watching his well over 2,000 videos that he's created on this channel stemming back to 10 plus years. He's a mindless little shill. Who's a mindless little shill? Zuckerberg or Coach Corey? Riff, you think everyone's a shill, right? Tell me about that, Riff. I understand your thoughts about the modern world and female nature. I agree with you on most of everything, bro. But, it's like, how in the world are we going to enjoy life? This is with no disrespect, Riff. I'm just saying this respectfully. If we're angry and bitter about everything, bro, how are we going to leave any space open to enjoy life? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, we were talking about Zuckerberg. Okay, that's cool. I don't have a problem with Mark. I get it. It's Silicon Valley. It's high tech. I get that, they have a lot of money, so people think they control everything. But, he built a great business. What's there to criticize about that? If he didn't build Facebook and, if Google didn't buy YouTube and make YouTube what it is today, we wouldn't have these platforms to do what we do. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You know what I mean? But hey, that's your opinion. It's all good, Riff. So no need to get your knickers in a knot. Okay? No, I got it, Riff. It's all good. I'm cool, bro. I just call it as I see it, dude. We're just having a good time here on this Saturday night. But Coach Corey has had a lot of great advice regarding, female nature. Now, he works with both men and women, but he focuses the majority of his content on men, kind of like I do. because men have a lot more issues dating nowadays than women do. I'm not saying women don't have any issues, but like I've mentioned many times before in the past, things have flipped when you compare it to how it was back in the days of traditionalism, where women were chasing men. Women are no longer chasing men. Men are chasing women. And that doesn't work too well because, even though women nowadays say they like being chased, it's one thing for women to say they like being chased, and it's another thing, for women to respond or not respond to guys that chase them. And this is another thing that, Coach Corwin has said as well, that I really agreed with when I first heard him say it years ago. What women say and what they respond to are two totally different things. And if that's one thing, I can get every single guy on this planet, especially beta males. If I can get every guy on this planet, and like I said, especially the beta males, to understand this, then you're gonna be further ahead than most other guys. Understand that what women say and what they respond to are two totally different things. Why? Because they're emotional beings. They are biologically made to be more emotional than men. And women respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Men, at least good, strong alpha males, not beta males, alpha males respond to everything logically first, and then we may shed a little bit of emotion afterwards, right? Okay? So some of the best advice I've received is from Coach Corey Wayne. And one of the best pieces of advice I received was, when you're dating a woman, once you get into a relationship, and let's say she starts to cut off the sex, or she stops being as communicative, she stops reaching out to you by text as much as she used to. She doesn't text as much as she used to, which is what I'm trying to say. And she starts to go a little cold. How do you handle that? You match and mirror the behavior. You don't give her any more than she gives you. And if she then all of a sudden reaches out to you, you've been together for a few years, and she, basically says, I think we should just be friends. It's not really working out for me. But, I'd like to be friends with you. You're a good guy. How many times as a guy have you heard that, right? Yeah, Queen, here's the thing. Everybody's entitled to their opinion about how, some people feel social media intervened with the election and all that. I have nothing to really say about that. I don't have an opinion regarding that. I don't think anything happened. I mean, a lot of people will talk. There's a lot of jealousy going on. And a lot of people want to sit here and blame everything on social media, or a lot of people want to blame everything on someone else rather than taking ownership themselves, right? And I'm not saying this about you, Queen. I'm saying in general, right? So, yeah, no, I respect your opinion. I don't really have one. Social media is all about how each individual uses it. I'm out here on social media to promote my coaching business. And I just try to not, get involved with any of the BS. If something's, if something has too much BS involved in it, or any BS at all, I just kind of, turn the cheek, and I'm like, okay, I'm not getting involved in this. Not worth my time. But I get it, Queen. I'm not saying you're lying, Queen. What I'm saying is that I have my own opinions about social media. What I'm saying is that, there are a lot of people doing a lot of different things on social media. You get a lot of conspiracy theorists. You get a lot of all different types of life out here. And we're not all going to agree, and we're all going to have a difference of opinion, and we're all going to, try to push the envelope in some way, shape, or form, right? But for me, this has not affected me one way. All I'm saying, Queen, is that, all of this stuff that many of you are talking about, you, Riff, and some other people, and a lot of people talk about this stuff, not just the folks here in my chat. How are you really affected by all this? Because for me, I'm not affected by any of this. Mark Zuckerberg hasn't done anything to me. I use his platform to keep in touch with my friends. And that's it, right? Or I simulcast my live streams over there. I use YouTube to run my business and to do live streams and pre-recorded videos. Nobody bothers me. I just do my stuff. I follow the guidelines, and that's that. But anyway, I respect that, Queen, and that's what I like about you and Rip and some other people. You can really throw in some heat into the conversation, and that's great. That's wonderful. So Coach Corey Wayne, has always suggested, and I've agreed with this, that if a woman is trying to friend zone you after you've been together with her for many years, right? If that's not what you really want as a man, and trust me, as a man, you don't want to be friend zoned when you've been with her for a couple of years, you've been having some great intimacy, and you've been hanging out, and now you're emotionally attached, right? You don't want to go from that to being friends. So why would you agree with that if that's not what you want? Many guys will agree with that because they think that if they comply with the woman's request or the demand or whatever it is, that it's going to be a way back into her heart. No, that's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you could do is this, is just say, hey, I'm not interested in being friends. She might say, well, why not? Well, because we've been together for a couple of years. We've been intimate many times. And to me, it's been amazing. I think you're beautiful and sexy. I've enjoyed taking romantic weekend getaway trips with you. And I enjoyed the great conversations we've had. But obviously, you feel differently about this, right? And if that's how you feel, then I'm just going to, walk away and let you go do your thing, or let you go find someone that you feel is a better fit for you. But hey, give me a call if you change your mind, right? And then what you do is you turn, you walk away, you never look back. You don't ever call her again. You don't text her. You don't email her. You don't reach out to her. You don't contact her friends. You don't try to do any of that. As far as you're concerned, she doesn't exist. The only way that it will ever work out again is if she reaches out to you. And if she reaches out to you down the road or sooner than that, then you have to assume it's because she wants to go on a date and she wants to work things out, right? So you turn, you walk away, you never look back. Let's say you go home later that night and she reaches out to you and says, hey, can we talk? What do you want to talk about? Maybe you write that in the text, right? I want to talk about what happened today. Okay. If it's about, keeping me in the friend zone, then, I would rather not talk. Let her know that in the text, because you don't want to get on a phone call with her and her continue to, firmly cement you in the friend zone, right? So let's say she says, no, I want to talk about working things out. Okay. And then you get on the phone with her and you say, well, hey, it's great to hear from you so soon. So you thought about things. Yeah, I really miss you. I do. I want to work things out. Can we talk about it? And this is what I would say in that situation. Well, I'd rather not talk about this by phone. This is very serious. We've been together for a couple of years, and this means a lot more to me than a phone call. So, she might say, well, how about you come over? In that case, no, you say, look, how about you come over to my place and we can talk about it. You want to come over right now? You're more than welcome to. If you're not able to make it, let me know when you're free and you can come over, right? But because she was the one that changed the terms of your relationship from romantic to friendship, she's the only one that can put it back on the table. And she has to make the effort the next 2 to 3 dates by coming to you, coming to your place, bringing a bottle of wine, hanging out, having fun, hooking up. And after she does that, 2 or 3 times, and you're intimate and it's all good, and she's showing consistency, you have to make her earn you. You have to make her earn you back. That's what I'm trying to say, right? After that, then you go back to the way it was, right? But if she continues to try to friend zone you every time she reaches out after you initially said, I'm not interested in that, you have to keep telling her, like I said, I'm not interested in being friends. I explained to you why. I really hope you can respect my wishes in the way that I'm respecting yours. I don't like your terms that you tried to change from romantic to friendship. So I walked away, and I'm giving you the space to go and find what you want, right? And that's the thing with women. Like, women are emotional beings. So you try to throw some logic their way, they don't want to hear it. Now, I'm not saying women are not logical creatures or don't understand logic. They do, right? But they're thinking with their emotions first, right? So when you throw them a bunch of logic that they know it's true, it's throwing them off because they're not used to a guy standing up for himself, right? They're used to getting what they want. This is why they pull this game, right? If it wasn't for all these beta males out in the world nowadays, these women wouldn't be able to do this stuff. But because of these betas, okay, they're able to play this card. And if you as an alpha let her play that card on you, then that's going to make you beta as well. But when you're the alpha and you're like, listen, I don't agree with these terms, and you walk away, you stand out from all these other guys. And then she starts to wonder and think, right? And if you play your cards right, more than likely, eventually, things will just work out. And then, she'll apologize and she'll submit and it'll be all good, right? It'll be all good. So that's, one example of some of the best relationship advice I've received and that's coming from Coach Corey Wayne. Okay. Some other great dating advice that I've received comes again from Coach Corey Wayne, another coach out here on the YouTube side of things called Coach Dan Bacon. Those are the only two coaches I trust. The rest of them are just trying to sell you a pipe dream, right? These guys have good, solid programs, and most of what they do, they give away for free, right? If you need a little more hand-holding, you can use their coaching services or buy some of their, extracurricular stuff like their books or their videos. Like Dan Bacon has some paid video series that I purchased. And I was already pretty well versed in this stuff years ago, when I purchased that material. And the reason why I purchased that material was because I wanted to learn more. I wanted to get into the head of two of the best, relationship coaches that I've seen ever, and that have made a big impact in my life. They did make a big impact in my life. 4 or 5 years ago, I was, in my early 40s. I'm 47 now. I was 41, 42. I had a better understanding of how to approach and deal with women and how to not be assisting and all that. I had learned all that compared to how I was in my younger days. But once I started to, follow these two coaches and go through their programs and actually listen to what they're saying and apply what they're teaching, apply the principles, learn the principles and apply them, that made the hugest difference in my life. And one of the biggest differences it made for me was not wasting my time going on a bunch of dates, wasting gas, just meeting every woman that wants to meet, right? I remember, before I met my ex, Dana, and this was many years ago, like over 4 years ago, I believe now, or close to it. And after my last relationship ended, I had myself on Match.com, and I was getting lots of responses like I am today. I'm getting lots of responses still to this day. I just filter through them and process them differently. And I don't meet as many of them. Like back then, 1 month, I met 30 women in 1 month. Like first dates. I'm not saying I slept with all these women or anything. I'm not saying that. I don't do that. But I met 30 women in 1 month. And I was driving all over Northern California to do it because I'd gotten out of a relationship and I just wanted to get out and meet people and keep my mind off of things, right? And I met women that I probably shouldn't have met. But if they agreed to meet for coffee or a walk or whatever, right? I just said, hey, it's something to do, right? Well, after, watching a lot of Coach Corey Wayne's videos and Dan Bacon's videos, and more so following these guys, and really, really hearing, what they say and what they teach, which is also based on their personal experiences, I changed up my game. I don't meet nearly as many women. Now, there are a lot of women that do want to meet me. A lot of people say, oh, Eli can't get a date, right? A lot of my trolls have been watching me, and they see that, like I talk to all these women, but I don't get any dates, or I'm not, getting anywhere, right? No, they want to go on dates with me. Most of them, if not all of them, right? But I decided to not go on a date with most of them because I'm looking for a certain type of woman. I'm looking for a woman that's going to resonate with me, that's going to be on a similar level, or at a similar level as I am. I'm not looking for the perfect woman, but I'm looking for just a really decent, laid-back, well-mannered, down-to-earth woman that's going to respect me and get my respect as well. And we're just going to flow and respect and care for each other naturally, right? So I started looking much more closely at that and started paying more close attention to the phone calls I was having, and started asking some more questions to get a better understanding of a woman's attitude and outlook of her future before I even meet her. Most of these women are just saying, let's just meet and see what happens. No, it's a waste of time. So that's another thing that I learned from, Coach Corey Wayne and Coach Dan Bacon, by just, hearing about their own personal stories. And then, what Coach Corey Wayne does is he responds to emails and comments from his followers and supporters. And they send in they send in their stories, and then he responds to these stories that are primarily sent in by men, and he shares what he would do in that situation and what the guy's doing wrong. And it really, really opened up my eyes. And even though I knew a lot of these principles before I found out about Coach Corey Wayne, the way that he puts it all together, and the way that he clearly explains everything, and his expressions and reactions, it's highly motivational. It's inspirational. And then he throws in a few little zingers every now and then, which have been a tremendous help when communicating with women. Now, as far as people that I would say I wouldn't listen to their advice. And it's going to be harsh to say this, but, growing up, I had a lot of friends that I now can look back and say they were very insecure and very immature, and they were very jealous and needy. And because these guys had difficulty getting women, anytime I would get a girlfriend and I would go to them for advice, they would give me negative advice purposefully, hoping that I would use that advice, get dumped, so that way, they can have more time to spend with me instead of me going and, spending time with that woman I would have been currently dating at that point, right? And you have to be real careful because, these are friends that you have probably grown up with, or if, you're younger, these are friends you're growing up with, and, you want to sit there and trust your friends, and you want to have some loyalty to your friends. But how loyal are your friends? How honest are your friends? How genuine are your friends? A real friend would never tell you to prioritize, if it's a guy friend, let's say it's a group of guys, like, if you guys out there have other guy friends, a real guy friend would never tell you to prioritize him over the girl you're seeing. He would support you and say, dude, you've got a really great woman. She's hot. She's sweet. She's kind. She's loyal. Wow, dude, that's awesome. I'm proud of you, right? That's what a real friend would do. But a lot of people growing up, they come from broken households. They're not raised right, or just something happens and they just don't love themselves. Maybe they gain weight and they don't like what they see in the mirror or whatever. Something happens and, some of your friends, don't really love themselves or are very insecure or needy or weak, right? You can't value advice or opinions from people like that. The only people you can value advice from and appreciate their opinions are people that have their act together. Okay, people that are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sane and have their shit together, and physically take good care of themselves as well. Again, some of the worst advice you can take would be from your friends growing up, especially if they are insecure, weak, and needy type of friends. If they're real friends and they are being raised by a great family, they have a great attitude, and they're very supportive, and they give you the right advice, hey, dude, whatever you need, you got a great girl. Yeah, maybe she's putting you through this. Maybe she's just testing you to see if you really care about her, dude. Here, just try this, dude. I want you to be successful. I'm your friend. I care about you, right? A real friend is going to care more about your well-being in the friendship and not be selfish, just caring about what he can get from you. Does that make sense? All right, we are at 47 minutes, and it looks like Queen and Riff or anyone else still out there, you have not seen any buffering for the last probably 20, 30 minutes, right? It's pretty much stabilized. I think I figured out what the issue was. It happened when I started broadcasting at 60 frames per second on Facebook at 1080p. And I just lowered the resolution on Facebook to 1280 by 720 because that's the max that Facebook outputs anyway. When you stream at 1080p over there, it automatically would downscale it to 720. And that seems to have fixed the issue. But on YouTube, I think we're still rolling beautifully. That should be unaffected. We should still be at 1080p at 60 frames per second. Let me check. Automatically would downscale it to 720. And that seems to have... It looks good. We're looking good. All right, folks. So I'm going to take a quick break. And then when we return, I'm going to start reading some responses to a Quora question. And that Quora question is, what was the best relationship advice you ever got? Now, let me check over on Facebook real quick. I haven't checked over there in a little while. Sean says 15 minutes ago, hey, Sean, how you doing? I would prefer for my partner to ask me if I was all right and try to communicate with me about the issue to work it out. Seems to me that honesty and communication is the key to a good relationship. I completely agree with you, Sean. I still wholeheartedly believe that that's the way it should be nowadays in the modern world. But especially the younger generation, the millennials, the Gen Y millennials and the Gen Z, post-millennial I generation, they're being raised differently. And even if they're being raised right by their parents, they all have smartphones attached to their hips, and they have so many more distractions growing up nowadays than you and I did when we grew up, over 40 years ago or so, right? So, they have a short attention span, and their communication skills are horrible. And that gives me an idea, Sean. I need to do a stream on communication and how important communication still is in the modern world, even though we all have a short attention span. That's part of the problem. It really is. So, yeah, thank you for your feedback there. And I don't know if you're still around. Karen probably took off. Thank you for stopping by, Karen. I'll check back in on the Facebook side of things in just a little bit after the break. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. Let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. And let's see here. Let me see. Got 2. Got 3. Got 4. All right, folks, the music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a break that's going to be about 10 minutes or maybe a little less than that. And like I said, when we return, we're going to get to the Quora question. What was the best relationship advice you ever got? So stick around. We'll be right back. get ready. Get yourself situated, Eli. We're back. We're back. We're back. Whoo! Yeah. Yeah. I actually like this little metal music out here on YouTube, the YouTube audio library. It's really soothing, don't you think? You don't have to always listen to that gangsta rap, right? To feel good, right? It's relaxing, right? Oh yeah. Woo-wee. Yeah. Yes. All right. All right. All right. Let's get ready to rock and roll the second segment. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Once again, glad you can all join me here on this beautiful, amazing Saturday night. The day that we're recording this live stream or broadcasting it live, that is as well. Saturday, June 19th, 2021. Can you believe we're almost halfway through 2021 already? It's been quite an interesting year, and hopefully it ends up being a better year than it's been. We've had a crazy start to this year, leading back to January 6th. We all know what happened on that day, right? Oh, man. Yeah, yes. And I'm not even going to talk about our Congress and the January 6th Commission and all of that. I have to say I've never seen a crazier time in our government, especially our Congress, than I have over the last 6 months to a year. Oh, man. I don't know what to say, so I'm just not going to say anything because, I have some opinions about it, but I'm just going to keep them to myself, right? Queen, I'm sure you have yours. Anyway, tonight we've been discussing what's the best relationship advice you've ever received, my take, and more. One more time, what's the best relationship advice you've ever received, my take, and more. Queen says, don't. It's all being exposed anyways. Well, Queen, here's the thing. They're exposing themselves. Queen, let me ask you this. Who needs to expose anything when they're exposing themselves? Right? They're speaking for themselves. I mean, they're all acting like immature, kindergartners, right? They're like in kindergarten, right? They're all sitting there on Capitol Hill, and they're playing in their sandbox, right? And, when one gets their toy taken away, they start to cry, right? And it's been one big shit show after another with them. And that's why, I've kind of tuned it out. I mean, I do have CNN on in the background most of the days, but I really am not paying, as close attention to politics as I was during, the election time, because it's a shit show. That's all it is. It's the truth. It's the bottom line, right? Now, one more thing before we get to the second part of the show, folks. If you just joined us, OBS just disconnected me and reconnected me again. Hadn't done it in a while. I do not know what's going on. I do not know if this is a Facebook thing or if this is a YouTube issue. I don't get it. I mean, on YouTube, I can broadcast at this bit rate, 30 megabits, no problem. American Dream 2.5 is back. He just became a sponsor, a channel member on the American Dream 2.5 channel. What's going on, bro? I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Yeah, I know it just went off and came back. I don't know what's going on, Queen. It was working for a while. I think the YouTube server is having issues. I think the YouTube server is overloaded. I'll tell you why. I think this is what's going on in the Bay Area. We've been having some heat waves here, and I think that they may be having some power failures, or some backup generators are kicking in, or it's switching off to a different server. Because I started getting issues a couple nights ago as well. We've been having a heat wave out here, so I don't know what's going on. It's not me. I got everything all dialed in. I really do. So hopefully it's not going to do it again. I missed you guys. I've been so busy with my stock market stuff. Well, American Dream 2.5. Bro, wow. I got to say, man, it's really nice to have you back. And American Dream 2.5. I know you reached out to me. You reached out to me by text the other day. I got back to you, and I haven't heard back from you yet. Feel free to get back to me later tonight or tomorrow or whenever, bro. I would love to talk with you and catch up. There have been a lot of changes. I heard what happened to you, bro. Are you doing okay, Mike, American Dream? I really enjoyed being a part of your crew. You guys are good people, good hearts. I'm glad you see that, American Dream, and I'd be happy to talk with you privately, because there's a lot more that's been going on. I've just been ignoring it. It's a bunch of crap, American Dream. Even some of the people that you're still involved with, some are okay and some are just, still causing issues. And it's kind of a long story, and I don't really want to get into it here and derail the show. But reach out to me. And here's the thing, American Dream. Let me check something out here real quick. I want to do something real quick here, American Dream. It's really nice to have you here, bro. Let me see. So, American Dream, is this like your? Can you do me a favor, American Dream? Can you send me a text message right now to my phone and let me know that that is you in the chat there that just became a channel member? Can you do that, bro, real quick? Let me know. Because I want to take care of some business here. Give me just a second here. Is that cool, man? Let me know. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take care of something. So I'm just going to wait for you to send me a text message, American Dream, Mike. Just to verify that that is you. So, folks, while I wait for that, if you go back and watch the replay, there's going to be a few times where the live streaming server on YouTube or Facebook or both cut me off. I think it has to do with the servers being overloaded and us having heat waves out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this is where these companies are located. So my local servers are going to be here in this area. And that's what I'm assuming is happening. So if you go back and watch the replay, or if you're watching the replay and you're wondering what was going on, that's what happened. It's not my connection. It is the live streaming servers. They're either overloaded or because of the heat waves, there are a lot of power outages and stuff like that. So that's what I think, happened. But yeah, that's him. That's fine. That's fine. It does look like it's him. He has 2 American Dream 2.5 channels. So, American Dream, if you can type in the chat, that would be great. Hey, GLM, Ruth Mobe, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. All right, folks, let's go over to the browser screen. Ooh, what happened there? Was I like frozen for a second? No, I think I'm good. I think I'm totally good. All right, let's switch back. That's weird. Why is it doing that type of transition? Huh. That's weird. Give me 1 second here, folks. All right, let me do this. All right, we're good. We're good to go. All right, so we're on the Quora page. Ruth says, I don't know. It is him for sure. I just assume it is him. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You know, I better just be on the safe side of things. Let me know if that's you, American Dream, because I would like to remoderate you, and I'm gonna just hold off on that until I get verification, because there are 2 American Dream 2.5 channels, and the last thing I want to do is give one mod access as a clone. That's going to sabotage the chat. You got to be real careful nowadays. All of my messages get filtered out. Sadness. That's because you're trying to talk about people, GLM, that I don't want to talk about here. And, you know, I would appreciate it if you could respect my wishes on that. So, I mean, you know, your messages are getting filtered out because I've moved on from the drama. And apparently, with no disrespect, GLM, with no disrespect, you have not moved on from the drama. Shall I bump him? No. No, what are you talking about? No, he's a channel member. I think that is American Dream, the real American Dream 2.5. But there are 2 American Dream 2.5 channels, and I don't recall him having 2 of them. Now, that could be somebody cloning him. And I know one guy that would clone him and purchase a membership to do it. So, I didn't talk about anyone, I swear. Well, that's okay, GLM. You can say what you got to say. I'm going to move on with my show. And I'll only respond to things that are relevant to my show. So, all right. What was the best relationship advice you ever got? This is a Quora question that was posed a little over 5 years ago in 2015. And there were some interesting responses. And I'm not going to read the first one because it's a long one. And this is not one that I'm going to go over. This would take me like 2 hours to go through this one person's response on its own. And it just really wasn't something that that really resonated with me. So, Tushar Singh, I observe/study people. And he answered this 4 years ago. Okay, so you observe and you study people. He says, now I'm not an expert, but this is what I read in an article online. Tried to relate it to me. Made total sense every point. Be together for the right reasons. It is only about the 2 people. Nothing else matters. Well, that's a good point. That's true, Tashar, to a certain extent. Okay. It is about the two people being together. But when you say that nothing else matters, that's not true. As a man, what matters the most is your purpose and what defines you as a man. And women are attracted to a man based on their purpose. And a man's purpose is not his woman that he's with. You try to make a woman your purpose and see what happens. She'll get annoyed. She'll fall out of love with you. She'll lose respect for you. It's like putting her on a pedestal. So, yes, be together for the right reasons. That's the only reason why you'd want to be with somebody in the first place, right? It is only about the two people. In that relationship, it is only about those two people. But there are more people in this world than just you two. And as you two go and explore this world together, you're going to encounter other people, and they do matter. Other people do matter. So when you say nothing else matters, bro, I think that I understand what you try to mean by that, but it's coming off in a way where it should be about you, the man and the woman, in that relationship, and no one else in this world matters besides both of you being happy. That is definitely not true. It's not a good way to look at it. Don't think about the money. That's true. But a lot of women do nowadays, and even some men do. Don't think about the status. Most women now look at the status. Don't be together just because having a boyfriend or girlfriend is cool. Well, what you mean by that is don't be with somebody just because you're lonely and you feel as a man or as a woman that the opposite sex completes you. I mean, it's more so okay for women to be that way because that's feminine energy. But for a man, you don't want to be with a woman just because it fills a missing void. That's not the right way to look at it. You want to be with somebody because they fit into your life and you're meant to be together. You're good together. Be together because you love each other's company. That's a good point. Great point, Tashar. 2, have realistic expectations. Boy, how many women nowadays have very unrealistic expectations? I did a stream on that several weeks ago. Go back and check it out if you'd like. Let me see here. Oh, I said my name. That was getting filtered out, LOL. Your name is being filtered out, GLM? I don't think your name is blocked, GLM. Let me check it out. Let me go on the Nightbot and check it out. Let me see. Let me see. Nope. Nope. You're not blocked, GLM. She says, yes, Eli, you are 100% away from the drama, and I will never learn. What if you walk with her? Could she be your purpose then? Asking for a friend. Autumn Friston. Hi, whatever, colon, oh, okay, I have no idea what that is. That's pretty strange. Have realistic expectations. Yeah, things get rough. It is never really a happily ever after scenario. Don't compare yourselves with what you see in the movies. Be practical. Okay? Be practical. Yeah, a lot of women, have huge unrealistic expectations nowadays. I've mentioned it before. I'll say it again. Women want the 6s. 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, and at least 6 inches down below. You know what we're talking about, right? And if you don't have all that, you're immediately eliminated. The truth of the matter is that 90% of the men in this world don't qualify on all 3 of those. And some are close. What if you're packing 5.5 down below? What if you're 5'11"? What if you make $99,999.99? Oh no, you're still a penny off. You're still a half an inch off the preferred length below the waist. You're still an inch off my preferred height. And I've actually dealt with women like that online. That say you're a nice guy, but I'm looking for someone that's 6 feet taller. Or I'm 5'7", but I'm 6'2" in heels, and you're 5'10". You want to avoid those people like the plague. Guys, avoid those women like the plague. And if you have guys like that, on the flip side, ladies, that have unrealistic expectations of you, which is rare, but it does happen, then you need to avoid them as well. Be practical, like this guy says. Number 3, respect the other person. Absolutely. Respect is a two-way street. If you want someone to respect you, you need to respect them. But earning someone's respect is not something you can buy. It just happens naturally based on, the behavior of the other person that you end up respecting or not. The moment either of you loses respect for the other one, everything changes. It's over. No, it's over. And there's probably no comeback. No, there's definitely no comeback. Number 4, be gentle with trust, because trust is like a china plate. If you drop it and it breaks, you can put it back together with a lot of work and care. If you drop it and break it a second time, it will split into twice as many pieces, and it will require far more time and care to put back together again. But drop it and break it enough times, and it will shatter into so many pieces that you will never be able to put it back together again, no matter what you do. Well, that is very true. Except in the modern world nowadays, with modern day relationships, the first time you drop it, you're pretty much out. Because we all have way too many options nowadays, especially because of these darn things. Smartphones attached to our hip. Let me see something. Give me a second here. Hang on. Anyway. You mean smartphones? What did I say, Riff? What did I say? Number 5, talk openly about everything, especially the stuff that hurts, and only talk to your partner. Keep others out of it. Well, here's the thing. As a man, you shouldn't be doing things that are going to hurt your partner emotionally or make you come off like an emotional basket case. Now, you're all going to experience things, right? Both men and women go through things. If you as a man, after a few years of being with a woman, are going through a struggle financially or in other ways, right? You want to make her aware of it as soon as possible. And you also want to give her the option and the freedom to withdraw if it's not going to work for her anymore. That's a good way to test to see, is she with you through thick and thin, or is she just with you when you have money, right? Most women nowadays, the moment that you run out of money, you go through something a little bit they'll eliminate you. Now, there are a few rare gems left in this world that would support you, and they would even help you out with their own money, as long as you're working to get back on your feet, right? But that's very, very rare. So, I agree. Whenever I've been in a relationship, I'm always very open and honest. And I'm not emotionally closed off. But I'm not an emotional basket case. I try to be as strong as possible because, the ladies I've typically been with are going to have their moments of emotions because, they're feminine, right? And they're going to be looking up to me for my strength to balance that out. But there are also times where men go through things like that, and a good woman is going to support him through that as long as you're open and transparent with her and you're not afraid to express yourself, even emotionally. But don't overdo it, don't overdo it, but, don't close yourself off completely either. Number 6, and yes, I forgot to mention, keep others out of it. You don't need to share your private business regarding your relationship with anyone. That's between you and your partner. Don't even share it with your close friends. I learned that one the hard way when I was younger. I used to tell my guy friends everything. Don't do it. Number 6, a healthy relationship means two healthy individuals. Don't expect your partner to make you happy all the time. It is good if they do, but it is not their job. Do things you like. Don't lay the entire foundation on sacrifice. Right. You're not there to sacrifice your life for this woman or for her to sacrifice her life for you. You're there to complement each other. You're there to come together as two complete individuals. You're not there to share, or you're not there to complete each other. You're there to share each other's completeness, which is what I'm trying to say. Another thing that Coach Corey Wayne mentioned. Okay, it's not like Jerry Maguire where, you complete me, you had me at hello, right? It's about sharing each other's completeness together. You come into the relationship as a man and a woman, individually complete, and you share each other's completeness together. Give each other space. Don't worry about giving too much space. There's never too much space to separate them when the two people love each other. Judging them would be disrespecting them. As a man, your job is one thing. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. If you're with a good woman that's really into her, you will never, ever have to initiate a phone call or a text. She'll do it every time, every day. That's how Dana was. And like I mentioned on some past streams, and like clockwork, Dana would text me all the time. And then one weekend we were together, she was saying, "How come you never initiate a text with me?" I said, "Come again? How come you never initiate a text with me? I always have to initiate it." "Well, you don't always have to do it. You just so happen to do it. And it works fine, right?" "Well, babe, why won't you text me first?" "Because, babe, when you text me first, it basically, everything flows beautifully. It's basically you showing you're still interested and you feel safe and comfortable with me and you don't feel like I'm being pushy. And it's your idea that you want this to work." "Well, isn't it your idea too?" "I want it to be your idea." "Well, yes, I do like being with you, right? But men and women are different. You know that. I'm an easygoing, laid back, down to earth guy, and I really like being with you, right? But I want you to have the freedom to do as you please. I'm not here to take away your freedom. I'm here to allow you to choose what you want to do and when you want to speak with me, right?" I get that, and I respect that. But can you at least just text me first, like just once per week, and I'll do it 6 times? And I'm like, this is beautiful, right? And I'm like, all right, babe. Listen, babe, I don't have a problem texting you first every morning. I'm not a lazy ass. "Oh, I know you're not lazy." But I said, look, I don't have a problem texting you every day. Just trust me. If I were the one to do it all the time, it would start to change things. And I really like the way things are. Don't you like the way things are, babe? Yes. So you'll text me once per week? Yes. How about Mondays? Sounds good. Every Monday I would text her first. Then the rest of the days, it was her. But you see, you give each other space, right? You got to give a woman time and space to wonder and think about you and miss you, right? And you also have to love a woman in such a way where the woman that you love feels free. You don't want her to feel like you own her or you locked her down. It's her job to talk about the relationship and locking each other down. It's not your job as the man to do that. She'll come to you when she's ready, because in the meantime, she's getting a feel if you're the right fit for her or not for the long run. Number 8, embrace the change. Both of you will change significantly over the years. You should be able to accept the change, never lose the respect. That's a great point. I have nothing more to add to that. I'm going to go through this and then take one more break, and then I'm going to read a little bit more. This has been quite long, and I need to use the restroom all of a sudden. And we've actually been on for 1 hour and 28 minutes. All right. Number 9, fight, but don't let it ruin what you have built together. No, I don't agree with the word fight. I agree with communicate, talk things out. As a man, if a woman is challenging you on something that's against your beliefs, don't sit there and conform to, what she's challenging you on. Stand up for what you believe in. That's not called fighting. That's called standing up for yourself and respecting yourself. Okay? The one thing you never want to do is fight or argue a woman. It's a moot point. Women are emotional beings. They're going to destroy you every time. You will lose. If you're a man and you argue women or you live to argue women, right? Then you're an idiot. You will never win. It's not worth it, right? That's not the way you handle it. If a woman starts to come at you, you look at her and you just start to laugh and smile. Babe, what's wrong? You're wrong. You're wrong. Really? What did I do, babe? You know what you did. No, babe, unless you tell me. I'm not a mind reader, right? You got to be funny about it, right? Well, I'm not going to tell you. You figure it out. Well, babe, I'll tell you what. You don't seem to be in a good mood today, right? I planned this great trip for us, but, I'm just not really happy with your attitude right now. I've done nothing here. You're having a bad day, so I'm going to turn the car around and take you back home and drop you off. All right? You're going to take me home? We had this great weekend plan. Well, unless you change your attitude, then I'm taking you home, right? Then you start driving back, right? You get off the exit, you turn around, right? And by the time, you get off the freeway, she's like, I'm so sorry, babe. I'm acting up, right? You know why she changed her attitude there? Because you stood up for her. You stood up to her. And you stood up for yourself and you respected yourself. So it allowed her to respect you, right? But if you just caved in and you sucked up to her and you further enabled that shitty behavior, the respect would not be there. And that day you spend with her would be miserable and a waste of time and money too, right? Never criticize or insult each other. I agree, but talk things out and stand up for what you believe in, even if it involves something that your girlfriend told you, right? Don't be defensive. Don't blame it on your partner. Yeah, no, I would never. Here's the thing. It's not about not blaming it on the woman. If the woman makes a mistake and she's made a mistake, you can tell her, babe, I don't agree with what you just did. Well, why not? Because it's wrong. Here's the reason why. That's just how I feel, right? You may feel differently. If this affects our relationship, or if you want me to take you home and you don't want to spend any more time with me today, just let me know. But quite frankly, I I don't agree with what you just did, and I don't appreciate what you just said, and I think it's freaking rude, right? So one of two things will happen. She'll either feel bad, and she'll respect you for standing up for yourself, and it'll turn her on, and it'll be an even better day than it would have been. Or number two, she'll whine and complain more, and at that point, you're like, okay, I'm going to turn around and take you home, right? You don't want to put up with that crap. But never be defensive. Don't blame it on your partner, but, if you've done something wrong, take ownership. If they're doing something wrong and it's bugging you, you got to talk it out with them. You got to talk it out with them. Don't be on the defensive. Talk it out with them and say, hey, this is not making me feel good, but hey, this is how you want to be. I just don't want to be a part of it, right? The only thing you can do in those situations is withdraw, right? And by withdrawing, it might change their attitude. If it doesn't, then boom, you did yourself a favor. You pulled yourself out of a horrible situation with the wrong woman. Now it leaves a space open to find the right one. Don't make your partner feel inferior. That goes for men and women, okay? You're no better than the woman, and she's no better than you. You're both equals. You have to look at it that way. Do not ignore the argument or the partner. Do not argue in the first place. Talk things out. But don't ignore your partner if there's an issue. You want to talk about it maturely and respectfully and professionally. Queen is looking for trolls. That's all good, Queen. That's all good. Previous fights have nothing to do with this fight. Well, they shouldn't, but sometimes women bring it up. And if they do, at that point, you're like, babe, you keep talking about this. Are you going to let it go? Let's just let it go and move on, babe. How's that? Okay? In a cool, calm, and collective voice and manner, right? If things get heated, take a breather. We'll never let them get heated. If the woman gets heated, you stay calm. As a man, you never lose your cool. Women are emotional beings. They're going to all lose their cool. You're the rock. You're the man. You're the leader. When she loses her shit, be there so you can diffuse it. Because if she keeps getting mad and she's not making you mad, then she's gonna run out of gas. It's kind of like a screaming baby. When a screaming baby doesn't get their way, they're gonna keep screaming, right? So what do? You put the baby in the playpen, right? And you walk away. You ignore the baby, right? What happens when the baby's ignored? It shuts up because it misses you. It doesn't want to be alone, right? You teach them a lesson, right? You teach them a lesson and manners, and you're like, listen, if you're gonna whine and scream, no one wants to be around that. So if you whine and scream, everyone's going to just drop you off and walk away. So if you want people to be around you and get attention like everyone wants, then don't whine don't be a baby, even though you are one, right? Being right is not important. Both people feeling respected and heard is. I could not agree with any more than that. Being right is not important. Both people feeling respected and heard is. I completely agree. It's not about me being better than her or her being better than me. It's about communication. It's about, being on the same page. And if we're not, to discuss our differences and find a way to meet in the middle, right? Number 10, get good at forgiving. If you're right about an argument, don't brag about it to your partner. Shut up. If you're right, your partner will know. That way they'll feel respected that you didn't act like a jerk. That's a good point. You have to be open to forgiveness, and I am. But a lot of people I know are not, right? Although most women I've been with have been, do have a forgiving nature. I will not personally date a woman that doesn't have a forgiving nature to a certain extent. With the exception of cheating, that is. That's the only thing that I can understand someone wouldn't forgive anyone on, and same thing for me. I wouldn't forgive anyone, for cheating. Accept their mistake. Anyway, nobody does it deliberately most of the time. That's true. there should be no such thing as winning the argument. I agree with you on that. It's not about winning or losing. It's about working through it. That's all it is. All right. So I'm going to take a break here, and I'm going to continue when I get back. This is pretty long. I'm going to go through the rest of this and then maybe one or two more shorter postings before I go off the air. But I need to use the restroom and take a break here. So let me just do this. You know what? I'm a little bit tinier here, am I not? Let me see here. Oh, yeah, but I have a lot more space to go up. That's why. It's all good. It's all good. I'm even clearer on the mini version than me here on the browser page. All right, let's go back to full screen and get some music queued up for one more break. Let me check out Facebook one more time. Nothing happening over there, but it looks like the broadcast is still working on Facebook, even though for some reason on my preview screen it's just showing dark. But we should be still live over there. Oh, boy. All right. Give me just a second here, folks. I'm going to cue up some music. All right. What do I want to play here? We're almost set. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. All right, music's all queued up, folks. I'm going to step away for a 10-minute or less break, and when we return, we're going to continue with this what was the best relationship advice you ever got question on Quora. It's been great so far, so stick around. We'll be right let's scratch it and get right back down to business. All right. Well, Facebook. Oh, boy. Oh, and we just lost the connection again. I just don't know what's going on here tonight. I don't know. I do not know what is happening with the YouTube servers or if it's the Facebook servers. I think it's the YouTube servers for some reason. They keep connecting, disconnecting, and reconnecting. And that's not my equipment. It's not my connection, a fiber line. It's probably the server's overloaded. Sometimes this does happen. It's not happening like every 2 seconds. It's like now happening like every half hour or 45 minutes. I think it's a temporary glitch. I'll see how the next stream goes. And then, if I have to tweak something further, I doubt it though. I don't think it is the fact that I'm broadcasting at a higher bit rate now on YouTube, because you can broadcast at any bit rate you want on YouTube. There aren't any restrictions on that. But again, like I said earlier, it's been hot out here in the Bay Area, and a lot of people are in. They're streaming. The servers are probably overloaded, yada, yada, yada. Maybe there have been some power failures, and it's had to redirect to different servers. I don't know, but we'll just see what happens the next time. I am reconnected once again. Thankfully, OBS automatically reconnects after a disconnect, like a few seconds afterwards. So, with that being said, before I get back to the final part of the show, I was only going to do 2 segments, but the material I've been covering has been a little bit longer. It's taken a little bit longer to go through than I thought. Before I get back to that, I do want to address a few things here for the people that enjoy my live streams and enjoy my content. And for the people out here, especially on the YouTube side of things, that, just love to troll. Queen says, I told you it is too many people going live and it would cause the servers to overload. No, it is. I think that's what's happening, Queen, especially here in the Bay Area, because every area that you're in has its own Google and YouTube servers. And here in the Bay Area, we've had 100-plus degree weather, and there have been, rolling blackouts, power failures, and stuff like that. And that's going to happen. So again, I just want to make people aware that, hey, it's not my end, and I do know what I'm doing. I'm a tech expert, and I understand these things happen. And, hey, if it disconnects again, I'll wait for it to pop back on, and I'll continue. That's the mature and professional thing to do. But thank you for that, Queen. I appreciate it. But like I said, before we get back to the Quora question, I want to discuss, a few things I'm just going to be upfront about. I really enjoy doing what I do out here. And there are people that do enjoy my content that are looking to, get a better grip on their life. They're looking to be uplifted. They're looking to learn how to be a successful entrepreneur. They're looking to learn how to, boost their confidence or become a better public speaker, which would help you become a better YouTuber, because you have to have excellent public speaking skills to be a YouTuber, especially if you go live. It just did it again. Yeah, it just did it again. I just don't know what's going on, Queen. I don't know if it's Facebook. Let me try to check the Facebook side of things. Give me 1 second. I don't think it's Facebook. Yeah, it is quite warm out here. It has to do probably with the YouTube servers. I'm not getting any errors on Facebook at all. I'm not. But I have not seen the YouTube live streaming server respond in the way it's been responding tonight. Like, I've had this issue happen before in the past, and then it was fixed. But yeah, I think it's because it's Saturday, everybody's home, people are not working their jobs, and they're all streaming, and they're all on YouTube. And I think the servers, at least in my area, are just slammed. And once that happens, you got to cut off people to, prevent the bandwidth from overloading. I get that. So anyway, what an interesting show. But like I said, there are people that do love this content, and they want to be uplifted, and they want to better themselves, right? And that's what I do. But then you have, the trolls on YouTube. You have the people that, just want to hang out and stir up the pot within your live stream chats, and just, talk about things that are a bunch of nonsense that have nothing to do with your channel or your topic. And they're basically, it just did it again. It just did it again. I just don't know what's going on. I have not had issues like this in quite some time. I'm going to hang on for 1 second here and see if it does it again. Folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the Facebook broadcast. And I'm going to see if it does it one more time, I'm going to kill the Facebook broadcast and see if that's affecting me at all. I don't think it is, but I'm just going to wait for a second here because it just keeps cutting me off. No, Queen, my laptop is brand new. It's not overheating. This has nothing to do with my end. This has to do with the live streaming server. It has to do with either the Facebook live streaming server or the YouTube live streaming server. And because both are coming off the same OBS connection, when one server cuts me off, it cuts off the whole thing between YouTube and Facebook. I don't think it's Facebook. I think it's YouTube overloading. It's Saturday night, and everyone's probably watching YouTube right now. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning, 1:15 Eastern. It's 10:15 Pacific. Everyone's probably home. They're all on YouTube, or they're live streaming, or they're watching live streams, and that's just probably the servers are probably just severely overloaded tonight. So no, my laptop is definitely not overheating at all. At all. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm only using like 15% of my processor power because I run my live streams from my 2 video cards that are in this laptop. It's kind of hard to explain. I've explained it before. I'm watching to see if it does it again before I continue. I think it may have stabilized now. So, Hazy Train, did this happen before you got your new equipment? It had happened before, bro. Yes, it has. It's happened before on any equipment I've used. I think, like I said, All right, I'm going to kill the Facebook broadcast. If you want to come over to YouTube, the link is in the description. I'm going to see if this fixes the issue here. So I'm going to kill the Facebook broadcast. Give me just a second here, folks. Now, if it cuts me off again, then I know it's definitely YouTube. All right, hang on a second. Yeah, just give me a second, folks. I'm going to play one song real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm going to see if this All right, so I killed the Facebook broadcast, and I'm going to see right now if the YouTube live streaming servers cut me off or not. Maybe it was Facebook that was having an issue tonight. I'm doing the same thing I've always done. So it might be Facebook having a bandwidth issue. So I'm going to keep an eye and see if OBS cuts me off again, but we are only broadcasting on YouTube right now. And I'll probably do some more testing on this maybe later tonight if I have the energy, or some point tomorrow before I go live again. But folks, what I wanted to say, is that a picture of Eli on the dock? No, this is a picture from pixabay.com. Of just some guy out there just kicking back and enjoying some peace and quiet, uninterrupted, far away from any drama or any women or family or friends, just being out there, breathing in the fresh air and just thinking clearly, right? And I've had many of those moments in my life, and let me tell you, it's beautiful when you can just get away from it all and just spend time with yourself and reflect. Personal reflection is very important, folks. It's very healthy. But like I was saying a second ago, there are people that really love this type of content, and they're here for the right reasons. They're here to be uplifted. They're here to, be supported and support, and share in the conversation. And even some people that are as well versed on many of the issues I discuss here. Even those people, they've been respectful. We can have a great conversation. It's not about me being any better than anyone, and it's not even about me even knowing more than anyone. It's about me sharing my personal experiences. It's about me sharing what's worked for me and what hasn't worked. And it's about, like I said, uplifting people and helping them get out of the rut they may be stuck in, right? And there are people that love that type of content. There are lots of people that love that type of content. But there are also people that don't like that content. And the people that don't like that content are typically people that are just not happy within themselves. And, they're just not happy at the fact that somebody is happy within themselves and wants to create positive, content instead of drama content, right? Right on, says Hazy Train. Thank you. But I'm at the point right now where I've invested a lot of time, a lot of resources. Let's just say I've invested a lot of resources, time, and money into upgrading my equipment for my YouTube channel and my network of channels. This is not the only channel I have. This is my main monetized channel. I also have Coach Eli 2, Uncensored Live Streams, and some other channels that I'm going to be using down the road as well. But I've invested a lot of resources, time, and money and effort to up my game here. And I'm at the point right now where, like I said, I don't get triggered anymore at anyone, right? But I have a zero tolerance for. All right. We just got disconnected and we got reconnected again. That's without the Facebook thing. So it looks like it's YouTube. And looks like it's YouTube. YouTube is having issues tonight with the live streaming server. It is not me. It is not my stuff. Now, I am broadcasting at 30 megabits per second, which is within their guidelines. You can broadcast, I believe, up to 50 or 60 megabits per second or even greater on Facebook, on YouTube. But if there's a limited amount of bandwidth, and because I'm using so much bandwidth for better quality, there may not be enough bandwidth for me to get the entire 30 megabits per second because other people are overloading the server. So it cuts me off once the server reaches a danger level of overloading, right? That's what I think is happening. So other people that are streaming, like on StreamYard right now, are probably not being cut off because they're not using as much bandwidth. So it is YouTube. I can tell you for a fact it was not Facebook. It was not Facebook at all. It was the YouTube side of things that has been cutting me off. But it doesn't matter. No, I know, dude. It's not, again, what am I going to do? By the next stream, everything should be all good. Everything should be fixed. It's just a time where there are a lot of people on right now. But hey, Riff, welcome back to the show, dude. So like I said, I got zero tolerance for trolling, and I'm not triggered, and I'm not calling anyone out by name. I'm just out here to say, look, I don't watch any of these people anymore, these trolling people I used to be a part of, within that drama group. I don't have time for that. I don't have the patience or desire for that. But some of them still like to come into my chat on sock accounts and stuff. And they try to, pretend like they're interested and they're only semi-trolling. I don't even want people semi-trolling. If you're not here to be uplifted and to talk about current life events and to have a positive, engaging conversation, there we go again. Folks, I'm going to try one thing here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna kill the stream for a second, and then I'm gonna be back in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna let it reset. Okay. All right. We should be back. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna wait and see if this comes back, and then I'm gonna be back in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna let it reset. Okay. All right. We should be back. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna wait and see. If this comes back. Yeah, it looks like we're back. All right, folks, this has been a crazy night with the YouTube live streaming server acting up. I'm going to leave this stream up because I want to show people that no matter what happens in life, you have to just roll with the punches, right? And I've had this happen before. It's not my equipment or anything like that. Sometimes you have to stop the stream. And when you stop a live stream, as long as you don't have the setting enable auto stop in the back end of YouTube, it'll just take your live stream off the air, and then you can just start right back up. Now, if you wait like 12 hours or so, YouTube will automatically kill your stream if you don't manually stop it. But now I just hit start streaming again on OBS. After I shut down OBS, I restarted OBS, and I reconnected. And what that typically will do is reconnect to a different live streaming server, or cancel out any possible glitch. So let me know if you folks can see me clearly and hear me clearly, and if we're all good to go. It should be fixed right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish speaking about what I was talking about a second ago. And then another time I will continue going through this Quora article. What was the best relationship advice you ever got? Because there's a lot more to it. There are many people that responded to it. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back for round 2 later tonight or even tomorrow morning and continue. But I am going to shut down this stream in about 10 or 15 minutes after I finish saying what I have to say, what I want to say right now. But again, you're good for now. No, it should be fine, Queen. It should be fine. Hey, Lewis, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. I know you, myself, and your sister need to connect. We've been trying to connect for the last week, and it just hasn't happened. But let's do it as soon as possible, bro. I'll be around tomorrow if you two want to talk, or Monday or Tuesday. Just let me know. I was able to connect with BWA Gaming the other day after she's been trying to reach out to me for a while. So anyway. Oh, here we go again. It disconnected and reconnected. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's still doing it. It's still doing it. I just don't get what's going on. It's just odd to me. It's odd to me that is happening. There has to be a pretty big issue with the servers being overloaded. Yeah, it's starting to drive me crazy now. I'll end the stream in a few minutes, Queen. So, like I was saying, folks, I'm not a drama channel, and I'm not a channel that I'm going to allow trolling in my live streams. I'm here to have some serious conversations. We're here to have some fun too, but reasonable fun. I'm not the type of person that's going to entertain a group of people that how do I put this the right way? Get their rocks off and their fix off of trolling live chats like mine. And, lately I've been moving on, doing my own thing. I've been ignoring a lot of people. And it's just funny to me that you can go a month straight or longer with ignoring, people that you used to participate with. You withdrew from them because they just weren't the right fit to participate with, because they're all about drama. And when you remove yourself because you had such a big impact on their success at your expense, my expense to be exact, these people are still trying to, find every way possible to try to reel me back in. That's just not going to happen. And I will say another thing involving this other drama site I used to be involved with. Like I mentioned on my live stream yesterday from the park, the Walking with Purpose stream. There's a fake beef going on between a mid-30s millennial guy and another YouTuber that does news reporting. These people are both sponsored by the same person. His name is Brian. He's the owner of Texas Caregiver Support Services. And it's funny. I'm actually pretty proud of the fact that they didn't respond to my stream yesterday. And they kind of ignored me, which is great. I appreciate that. But at the same time, they're still going back and forth. And what's really actually, it's not really bugging me, but I just want to make the good people aware that follow and support these people that they're being played. Because you have the mid-30s millennial guy that's coming out and saying that, we're both sponsored by the same person and I make more money than you. And you said that you were going to drop your sponsorship if you found out that I was making more money than you, right? We both have the same sponsor. We're both sponsored to do videos. Well, here's the thing. You're both sponsored to do videos by Brian, Texas Caregiver, but you no longer are able to put any of your sponsors' information in videos. You can't say that this video is sponsored by Texas Caregiver Support Services, right? You guys can't do that anymore. So are your videos actually being sponsored or not? What are you actually getting paid for? Think about it. I get paid because I'm sponsored by Discover Community Network. And I mention them every single stream or most streams. If I miss one or two, not a big deal, right? But I mention them every time saying this channel is being sponsored by the Discover Community Network, Troy Brewer, blah, 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 right? You guys have not said that for the last month or two because of the legality of, several matters regarding your sponsor, right? And so he asked you folks to, just say you're not sponsored by him anymore, but he's still going to pay you, right? So he's paying you guys to create content, and you folks are saying you're being sponsored by him, but you're not putting out the sponsorship information anymore, right? So what is your sponsor getting out of this, right? Well, what was he getting out of it in the first place? Nothing, right? It's all been a front to, funnel money for tax write-offs, right? We've all known that, right? Well, my question is this, right? To this entire group, especially these two guys that have been trying to keep together this group of drama people that love to troll. It just disconnected and reconnected again. Give me a second, folks. Let me try to see where I left off before this thing cut me off. This has been a horrible night with the YouTube server. I mean, I could use the backup server. There is a backup server. So let me ask you guys something, right? What is everyone getting out of this? You guys are being paid a certain amount of money by Brian. You can't even put out his sponsorship information, so he's not getting any notoriety, right? But even when you did, what was he selling? Nothing, right? It's not OBS, Queen. It's definitely not OBS. It's not. It's not OBS. It wasn't, when I did my last stream in the studio, it wasn't doing this. I think the servers are just very overloaded tonight, at least here in the Bay Area. Hopefully the next one will be better. Yeah, so your sponsor's not getting anything out of this. He's not even selling anything anyway. And even when you guys did promote him, saying this video is sponsored by Texas Caregiver Support Services, blah, 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 right? What did he get out of it anyway, right? It's like an old song, right? This group of people, it's like an old song, right? And it's just really sad to me that there's so many of them, and a lot of them that they met through myself, right? And they all know me, so they all still kind of try to keep me reeled into this, right? And it's just really sad. It's really just sad and pathetic. And again, like I was saying on my stream yesterday, my walking stream, I really wish that these people would just move on and create real content, right? Especially if their sponsor is never going to drop them. Like Texas Caregiver said he would never drop the mid-30s millennial, or, you know, the news reporting guy, right? So why don't you guys just create your own content? I don't know what's going on here tonight, folks. This is just really crazy. This is going really crazy. I've never seen this thing connect and disconnect so many times. I'm going to try one more thing, folks. I'm going to try to lower the bit rate down to 20 megabits and see if that makes a difference. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to have to kill this for a second. All right, we should be back, and I lowered the bit rate down to 20 megabits per second. I'm looking to see if streaming at 20 or 30 megabits is what's causing the issue. I'm going to figure this out. So it should still be decent quality, but it's 10 megabits less. Should still be decent quality on the screen, but I'm going to see if I still get any disconnects at 20 megabits per second. And if I don't, then that's telling me that there are times where the server is so overloaded that when I try to run at 30 megabits, it just can't handle my speed. It's the YouTube server is just cutting me off. So we'll see what happens here. I'm only going to be on another 5 or 10 more minutes. like I was saying, at what point is this whole thing going to end between this group of people? The mid-30s millennial, the news reporter guy, both their audiences, and both of their audiences have lots of people that used to be a part of my audience, and they all know who I am. And at the end of the day, like I said, these guys are being paid. Like I said in the past, which is what I'm trying to say, these guys are being paid to just create stupid, cringy content to entertain the guy that's paying them. The guy that runs a supposed caregiving company, Brian, Texas Caregiver. And the truth of the matter is, no matter what they say, they're being controlled to make the content that they're making. The content that they're currently making right now makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason for these guys to be fighting back and forth over who makes more money unless their sponsor was paying them to put on that fake fight, right? That's what I think is happening. And so, my whole thing is this: to anyone that is involved with those two groups of people, just ask yourself, do you realize what's actually going on? Are you entertained by this? Is it just something to do? Do you think it's all real? Because if you think it's real, I really have to I really have to ask you: Are you in your right mind? No disrespect, right? The only reason why I'm even talking about this is because I've moved on, and I haven't talked about any of these people, but they're still trying to hang on to me so desperately. And it's a hilarious thing. It's a very comical thing to me, right? And these are people, there are a lot of good people that are involved with these two guys they're good people that, in my opinion, could benefit from some more positive and uplifting content rather than always having to, deal with these two guys fighting over each other every now and then, or attacking other people because that's what their sponsor is paying them to do. And it's like, I really don't want to talk about this, right? I really don't want to talk about this, but this is unlike anything I've ever seen in my entire life. I've just never seen any one person. I've never seen any one person. Now, as you can tell, the connection seems to have stabilized. It's interesting. Now that I'm broadcasting at 20 megabits, the connection seems to have stabilized. So before I continue and wrap this up, I'm going to kill this for just a second. I'm going to put it back to 30 megabits and see what happens. I got to test this on the fly, folks. All right. So we should be back to streaming at 30 megabits per second. And I'm going to see if I get any disconnects. If I do get some disconnects, then I think that is the issue. And again, trying this on the fly is the only way to find out what's really going on, right? If I get some disconnects, I'll kill it one more time real quick, and then I'm gonna try to broadcast at 25 megabits per second and see if that's stable on the YouTube servers. Because the higher the megabits, the better quality you get. And when you have a fiber line, you can broadcast as high as you'd like. But maybe the connection has stabilized, so we should be good. But yeah, it's like I've never seen anything like this before, where you have one guy that came into a lot of money, create this fake business to sponsor cringy drama channels that attack other people and create cringy content. And this guy gets nothing out of it. This guy is making no money off of this. And at the current time right now, he's telling the people he's sponsoring to not even put out that the videos that they're getting paid to do are sponsored by him. He doesn't even want these people sponsoring or putting a sponsorship message out there. Like, what sponsor is going to pay thousands of dollars per month to sponsor these YouTube content creators to make videos and not put that this is sponsored by Texas Caregiver? I mean, this is surreal. It is. It really is, right? And again, I'm the only one that knows the story well enough to even talk about this, right? And quite honestly, here's the thing. I'm just going to come out and say it, because here's the thing. I am tired of this. And maybe for a little bit, maybe I will start talking about this again. Because let me tell you something. This all needs to stop. I think what needs to really happen here is this guy, Brian, needs to stop paying these people to do all of this, right? So here's the thing, Brian. Here's the thing. You went away for a little while, like I mentioned on my stream yesterday, and now you came back and you started doing all this stuff, right? Right? And everybody that's been coming over to my channel, even GLM and some other people that have snuck their way in. And by the way, I'm not even sure if that account that was American Dream 2.5 that got a sponsorship, a membership, I don't even know if that was really him. That's not his main 2.5 channel. I think that is someone else's channel that's cloned it, right? So I'm beginning to see people start to do things again that are out of the ordinary when I haven't talked about these people for a long time, a month or two or three, right? Maybe a month or two at least, right? So it's Brian's coming in again, and now he's basically paying these people to try to come at me again. See, Brian, if you want to start up again, Brian, and continue this, we can just leave off where we left off. I don't have a problem doing that. Interestingly enough, it looks like the YouTube server has stabilized at 30 megabits per second. I don't think it had to do with the bit rate. I think it had to do with the server being overloaded. Because it hasn't, Queen, it hasn't, since I came back, for the last 5, 7, 8 minutes or so, it has not dropped, right, Queen? Let me know if you're still there. No, the Real Dream actually reached out to me, Queen. The Real American Dream actually reached out to me. And the Real American Dream actually has a membership with me. Like if I go to my back end right now, let me go into my memberships. American Dream 1.5 is a channel member. The American Dream 2.5 channel, which was started on June 22nd, 2019, has 1.45K subs. This is the one, it has one video on there, but there's also a secondary American Dream 2.5 channel. You want to know something? No, that has 25. No, that's the real dream. Nope. Queen, that American Dream channel is the real American Dream. The other one listed has 25 subscribers and 5 videos. This one has 1.45K subscribers and 1 video, but I think he took down a lot of his past videos based on some things that have been happening. But Queen, let me know, has it been stable for the last 10 minutes or so since I've been back? There hasn't been anything dropped, right? So far the server is holding. Yeah, that what that's telling me is that the server was severely overloaded tonight. It was severely overloaded with lots of people streaming and viewing YouTube from the Bay Area. And like I said, we've had a major heat wave here, and there have been lots of power outages and rolling blackouts and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna say this, Brian. Stop sending people to my channel. Stop trying to get people to re-engage me. Stop paying people to create fake drama content because you get your rocks off on that. Dude, why don't you pay these people to do something more productive, right? I mean, nobody is enjoying this anymore, dude. Nobody is. Nobody cares anymore. You know how I know? I'm talking about this right now, and there are only 10 people here. Nobody cares. They don't even care to hear what I have to say about it, right? Which is actually a good thing. Which is actually what I want. But I'll just say this, Brian. If you continue to pay these guys money with the stipulation of them attacking each other over stupid things like, the millennial makes more money than the news reporting guy, right? You keep on doing that, Brian, and you keep on causing issues, and you keep on trying to get people to, in a sneaky way, try to suck me back in, Brian, then guess what, Brian? We're going to go right back to where we left off before I stop talking about it. You want my attention, Brian? You got it, right? Now, again, I could care less about the mid-30s millennial creator and the news reporting guy that you're sponsoring, both these people, right? But see, Brian, you're the culprit. You're the ringmaster, Brian. You're controlling. You're the puppeteer, Brian. And again, Brian, like I told you, my family is still, looking into the situation regarding the grave spitting situation, where you paid the news reporting guy to spit on my father's grave and to come out here and to do all the stuff he did out here. You did that, Brian. You know you did that. We all know you did that, Brian, right? So how far do you want to take this, Brian? How far do you want to take this? You tell me. I'm just trying to run my channel, dude. That's all I'm trying to do, is run my channel. I want nothing to do with you, the millennial, the news reporting guy, and anyone that follows any one of you folks, right? Just take me out of the equation, and that's it. That's all you have to do, Brian. Take me out of the equation, and I stop talking about you, and that's it, right? But see, here's the thing, Brian. I'm not focusing my energy on the millennial or on the news reporting guy or any of their minions or anything like that. I'm focused on you, Brian. I'm focused on you because you're the one. You're the one that's paying people to do all this, because there's no man or woman in their right mind that will continue this facade for 4 years straight. without burning out unless they're being paid to do it. And they're even getting burnt out with you paying them. But they find energy to move forward to keep doing it because you keep paying them, Brian. It's obvious, right? So here's the thing, Brian. Here's my next move. Here's my next move, Brian. You are sponsoring people and writing this off, right? You're paying these people money to create content, yet they're not promoting your business on the videos that you're paying to be sponsored. So is it a real sponsorship, Brian? Is it a real sponsorship? It's a little shady to me. You tell him, let me ask you this, Queen. The server's holding pretty nicely right now. That's pretty good. Let me ask you this, Queen. Do you think that sounds pretty shady to you, what Brian's doing? So you sponsor these two people. They're saying that you're sponsored. Yeah, you're saying they're sponsoring. Sorry, I can't talk. You're saying, or they're saying that you're sponsoring them. I'm sorry, I'm losing my verbiage here for a second. They're saying that you're sponsoring them, but they're not putting out your sponsorship info at all in their descriptions or the video bumpers. Very shady, says Queen. So here's my next move. Here's my next thing, Brian, and I hope you're watching. Because I'm tired of this, and this needs to stop. And all of you need to go away. All of you need to stop this nonsense, right? My next move is going to be something to do with filing a report where I have to. I'm not quite sure what that is, where it is. I'm going to have to look into it. Filing a report stating that there's a guy sponsoring people, paying them money to create videos that used to put the sponsor info in the videos, but now he's not even doing that yet. He's still paying these people to attack and harass other people on YouTube. It's very shady, bro. It's very shady, bro. And there's lots of evidence, dude, right? And who knows how you're paying these guys now through crypto or under the table. Who knows how they're filing their taxes? If you're paying, I think you're paying the news reporting guy $2,000 instead of $1,000. But let's say you're only paying him $1,000. That's $12,000 a year. Is he claiming that money on his taxes, or are you paying him through crypto or under the table? Right? And here's the thing, Brian. If he's not claiming that on his taxes and you're writing it off, there's a record right there, right? There's a lot of shady stuff happening here, right? And again, Brian, I just want to go away and do my own thing. I didn't even want to talk about you. I moved on and I've been doing my own thing. But now you're stirring up the pot again. You're stirring up the pot, Brian. And here's the thing, Brian. I don't care about the news reporter guy or the millennial or anyone else. I care. The only person I'm coming after, Brian, is you. I don't care about what these other guys you sponsor say or do. Doesn't matter to me at all. Because without you paying them, there's no way in hell they would do any of the stuff that they're doing. They can barely afford to survive with the money you're paying them. And that's why they're doing all this stupid stuff, right? So again, dude, like, I don't care what the millennial guy says or does, or the news reporting guy says or does, right? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It is irrelevant. Because without you paying them, these people wouldn't care to do any of this. You think that they would come at me all this time for free? Would anyone in their right mind continue coming at one innocent YouTuber for years if they weren't getting paid. You could pay the millennial to talk about me all he wants, or you want, Brian. You can pay the news reporting guy to talk about me all he wants. I don't care. I don't watch them anymore. I don't care. Like I said, people will send me clips every now and then. And today they told me that nobody talked about me. That's good. I'm glad. I'm happy, right? It's an old song, dude. It's an old song, right? It just disconnected and reconnected again. It just disconnected and reconnected again. It's been a strange, strange day on the YouTube server. No, I know it did, Queen. Queen, yeah, the last stream I did, it did not do any of this. There is something definitely wrong with the YouTube server tonight. It is overloaded. Oh, now they're coming, right? Now there are 14 of you here, huh? Yeah, another 13 of them here. They're like, oh, here we go again. No, we're not going here again. We're not. So I'm not dealing with any of you folks. Doesn't matter what you do. I'm dealing with Brian directly. Brian, stop forcing these people to do stupid things because you get your rocks off on them. It's quite obvious, dude. It's quite obvious what's happening here. I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm going to wrap things up, okay? And maybe I'll come back later. Who knows? It's quite obvious to me, dude, that you're in control of all this. Like I've been saying, there's no man or woman, human being in their right mind that will continue doing all of the things that these people have done, the millennial and the news reporting guy, for years on end for free. They wouldn't do it for free. They wouldn't even do it even if they were making their regular donations. The only way they would do it is if they were sponsored a guaranteed amount of money every month in addition to their donations, right? So no matter what you say, Brian, or what anyone else says, even the audience of the millennial and the news reporting guy, no matter what they even say, you all, if you have half a brain, any one of you, you all know that everything that you're seeing right now between the millennial and the news reporting guy is fabricated and paid for by Texas Caregiver. And if you are okay with that, and if you put your trust in the millennial and you put your trust in the news reporting guy, that they're being honest with you about this, and you don't realize it's a fake store-bought beef, then I don't know what to tell you. Then maybe you just, if you love that kind of content and you know it's fake, then hats off to you, right? But if you're just stumbling in here and you thought it was real and you're like Eli saying it's fake, is this fake? It is fake. It's completely fake. You ask yourselves, why would these two guys come out and publicly state what their sponsor's paying them? When in the past, they never did that. They never did that in the past at all. But now they're doing it, right? Why? Because they're being paid to do it. And they're even lying about the money they're making because the millennial's making $4,000, not $3,000. And the news reporting guy's making $2,000, not $1,050. It's all bullshit. It's fabricated. It's fabricated because these guys have no other way to make money. They say they do. They say, oh, I have real content. And oh, I make more money off of my t-shirts and graphics design. No bullshit, you don't. You make $4K per month off of Big Daddy telling you what to do. And same with you. Same with you, news reporting guy. You make $2,000 per month of Big Daddy Brian telling you what to do, like coming out here to my area, stalking myself and my family, spitting on my father's grave, and doing all that. So stop this nonsense. This has to stop. This has to stop. I'm tired of it, right? I'm sick of it. I was not going to talk about this, but I am talking about it because you people just don't stop. You continue to do shady shit, and I'm tired of it. And no one else knows the story well enough to be able to stop this besides me. If there was anyone else that knew what was going on as well as I do on the flip side, then I'd hand it off to them. But I'm the only one that can stop this. I'm the only one that knows what's going on and has enough clout, let's just put it that way, to stop it. So if we have to start this up again to the point of where, hey, Brian, we're going to run you off completely from sponsoring these guys. If we have to go that route, Brian, that's fine. And Brian, here's the thing. You remember what I said, Brian? I said yesterday that I'm not going to sue anybody or anything, right? Well, as a matter of fact, the millennial, the news reporting guy, and any one of the minions. No, I'm not gonna sue them or get ROs on them or anything. But Brian, here's the thing. You're not off the hook, dude. I told you this yesterday. I'll tell you this again. You continue to pay these people, Brian. You continue to pay these people, even secretly behind the scenes through crypto and without them having to put out your sponsorship stuff. If this shit continues to happen, Brian, I'm going to move forward personally with my legal aspect with you, on top of what my family's still looking into. We haven't forgotten about you, dude. I personally put you on the back burner because you backed off for a little bit because you were scared. Now, here we are 1 month later. Okay, you're bored, so now you're right back into it, right? So, Brian, that's fine. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. And let me tell you, Brian, the more and more stupid shit the millennial, the news reporting guy, and any one of their minions does to myself or anyone I care for, Brian, the more and more evidence and ammunition will be used towards you. Brian, let me tell you this, dude. I will not be afraid to get a harassment order on you, a restraining order on you, and I have more than enough proof. More than enough proof to get one. I backed off the last time, Brian. I backed off. And I backed off the millennial as well, too. I'll tell you why. Because the truth of the matter is this. I'm going to wrap up by saying this. I do believe this. I'll say one thing about you, millennial girlfriend. I know you're watching. I know you are. You're addicted to the drama too, ma'am. Respectfully saying that you are addicted to the drama. You were right about your man. Maybe he really is not such a bad guy. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because he's being forced to do all of this because of Brian. He doesn't want to do all this. He's tired of it, right? The stuff right now that he's going back and forth with, the news reporting guy, he doesn't want to do it, right? And probably neither does the news reporting guy. want to do it either, right? But their sponsor, their quiet sponsor now, their silent sponsor, right, wants to get his money's worth, so now he's asking them to create this fake beef, right? There's no need for me to go after the millennial or to go after the news reporting guy, because these people don't really want to be doing what they're doing. But at the same time, both the millennial and the news reporting guy have the option to drop their sponsor and say, I don't agree to these sponsorship terms because I don't like what you're making me do to get paid by you. They could do that, but they're not. Why are they not doing that? Because they desperately need the money. If neither one of those two guys needed the money from Brian, Texas Caregiver, they would have dropped him because they really don't like what they're doing for the money. But no one's ever offered them this type of sponsorship or easy money before, so they're taking it and they're dealing with it. Let me tell you this, ma'am, before I wrap this up here. This show did not go the way I wanted it to go. I'm going to leave this stream up. No big deal. And who knows what my next move will be from here. But all I want to do is create my content and help people. That's all I want to do, right? Especially after all the money I've invested recently to amp up my game here, right? Camera, laptop, all that stuff, right? New iPhone 12 Pro Max last year. I've really amped things up, and I really want to use my actual talent to create stuff that's going to be helpful and good for people, not deal with drama stuff, right? But here's the thing, ma'am. I will pay you props. You've been right about a lot of things. You've been more right, ma'am, than most other people have been. Now, do I think you've done some things that I don't agree with? Sure. And you'd probably say the same thing about me. We've all made some mistakes. That's fine. I'll own my part, and you can own yours. I'm sure you have, or you will. But what I will say about you, ma'am, is that you're very intuitive about picking up on many things that have happened out here on YouTube. And you were spot on about this Brian guy. And you were spot on when you were telling me the truth about, your boyfriend, the mid-30s millennial, where he really, really doesn't want to be doing this. But it's like clocking in and clocking out. It's 80 to 90% of his income, right? So he has to do what he's told, right? It sucks. It absolutely sucks. It really does. At what point does it end, right? At what point does it end? Would it be such a bad thing for Brian to just say, hey, millennial, and hey, news reporting guy, why don't you both just create regular content and I'll support that. And you can start putting my sponsorship bumper within your videos again. Why can't they suggest to their sponsor if he can sponsor them to just do regular content without having to instigate drama and to create fake beefs, right? Instigate fake drama and making it appear real, right? That's what they're doing, right? Instigating fake drama and making it appear real, right? Well, the server on YouTube seems pretty stable for right now. Maybe it's so late on the East Coast that a lot of people have dropped off and have opened up the bandwidth floodgates again, right? I'm going to tell you what, Brian. I'm going to tell you what. I'm still going to create my content, Brian. I'm still going to create my content. But in addition to creating my content, I'm going to talk about you and what you're doing each and every day until you stop this, Brian. And every single thing that the people you pay do, I'm going to talk about it every single day. In addition to what I'm talking about, I'll do 2 streams, maybe 3 streams per day, maybe 1 walking and 2 from the studio. 2 of them, 1 or 2 will be on my regular topic. The other one will be about you, Brian, and what you're paying people to do today, right? So that way, everyone knows that you're a phony and a fraud and that it's all fabricated. At some point, there's going to be no audience to watch this because they're going to know it's all fabricated, Brian. So we're going to go that route, Brian, because look, you're not going to stop any other way. So I'm just going to go toe to toe with you, Brian. You want to go toe to toe? I'm not going to go toe to toe with the millennial or with the news reporting guy. There's nothing to battle about. There's actually no beef happening. The real beef, Brian, is between you and myself. That's the real beef. Because for some reason, you've had it out for me for years. And you paid lots of people, lots of money to come at me. So the problem is with you, not with these other guys. So regardless of what they do, Brian, from here on out, like I've mentioned for many months now, I'm not feeding into them, Brian. It's all about you. I will call out what they're doing, not because I want to go at them, but because you're paying them for it. And that's where I'm going to wrap this up here today at 3 hours and 14 minutes. I may be back later tonight or maybe probably tomorrow, and we're going to continue. I'm going to still do my regular topics, but Brian, the more and more that you pay these people to beef back and forth in the fake way, I'm going to keep talking about it, right? And I'm going to talk about it right here on my monetized channel. And I'm going to monetize these videos, right? And let these people decide if they want to watch or not. If they watch, that's great. If not, that's great too. It's all good either way. So with that being said, sorry about all the issues tonight, folks. I think the YouTube server is finally stabilized because right now it hasn't been cutting me off as much. And it looks good. Let me toggle the timestamps and see the last time it went down. Queen Helen Casey at 11:11 is when it went down, and it's 11:28. So it's been up for 17 minutes with no issues. All right, folks, with that being said, have yourselves a good one. We'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye. We'll finish up the article, the core article next time. Take care. Bye-bye.